like to welcome everybody to the Gallatin budget meeting. Everyone would just rise for the
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome, everybody. We have some items we'd like to talk about in the public forum. I believe what Amy's passing out, Andrew got the proposals for garbage. As you know, we had our bids in the paper, advertisements in the paper, and when we did our bid openings, we did not have any bids for the garbage. So we did contact a couple of companies, which Advanced Disposal, who does our garbage pickup now, and we did receive a proposal from Republic Services. You have in front of you the comparison for the high school, all schools where there's dumpsters located, and you see the bottom line on both, the total for all, Advanced Disposal and Republic Services. And on the right, you have summer, which is different numbers of times that the garbage is picked up. You see the proposal for summer garbage disposal services, Advanced on the left, and Republic Services on the right. So, like I said, neither one of these companies put in a bid, so we did contact them. I believe Andy spoke to the representative from each company, and this is what they've given us as their proposal. Okay.
That looks like it's less than last year. Yeah. I'm thinking sort of less than that. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So this is a 3-year contract. So this is something we would need to put on a regular meeting next week. You vote on.
Is this totally option where there are few
This would be total cost, but if there's extra pickup, there's a cost, for
Yeah,
that.
but if there's a spike in fuel costs, there's a
Surge order.
Correct.
Surge order.
yeah, surcharge. Thank you.
I believe this would be the total cost. The seal coating bid, when we opened the bids, we did have one company that responded to the seal coating, but when we went around, there were a lot of change orders and add-ons because a lot of the area at Albert Gallatin Middle School and a couple of areas at Plava were beyond seal coating. They would need asphalt cut out and replaced because you couldn't seal coat it the way it was. So speaking to Andy and Janine Benucci, we are going to have her put together some specs and rebid it because like I said, we only had one person and it wasn't truly just seal coating. There were a lot of areas that needed total replacement. So Janine's supposed to get the specs to us, and we will have to rebid it to have that work done.
That would bring the Sunday day to there.
Yeah, that would, once we get the specs, I would have to run 3 times, 3 consecutive.
It's more than that.
Oh, I know.
Are we going to be able to get it done this summer?
Yeah, we should still be able to get it done this summer.
What a couple of our songs I asked you.
Andy, do you have the price from the gentleman that showed up with all of the add-ons and things?
Yeah, it's like actually 52,790. Problem was the silver was like 39.9. Like, it's just great enough to build on.
Yeah, there was the concrete slab. Yeah.
Yeah, this company wants
And his cost wasn't including concrete, it was all asphalt.
Yeah, this was all asphalt
So
change.
concrete, it would go up tremendously.
It was basically what changed.
Yeah.
So they did start the sewage tie-in, the business office is tied in. We just have some demolition to do with the current septic tank. We need holes punched in it, backfilled with gravel, and then basically covered back up and seed planted. So that will be taken care of. They will be starting Deferred Swings tie-in this week, along with the high school whenever Deferred is tied in. So last meeting we had in regards to budget and finances, we know we had some questions. I know, Mr. Brewski had asked that we take a look at other districts in the county and to see if we were in line with the appropriate number of administrators, specifically school principals. If you can see these 6 districts in the county, the high schools, Gallatin has 1 principal, 2 assistant, with an enrollment of 1,027. Brownsville has 1 principal. They have 490 students in their high school. Connellsville has 1 principal and 2 assistants with 1,202 students. Fraser has 1 principal with 390. Laura Howard has 1 principal and 2 assistants with 847 students. And Uniontown has 2 principals, no assistants. They're both considered principals with 740 students. At the middle school, we do have 2 middle schools in which we have a principal at each and 1 assistant splitting his time between both middle schools, for a total of 3 for 788 kids. Brownsville has 1 principal for 375 kids. Connellsville has 1 principal and 1 assistant for 1,050. Fraser has 1 principal for 240. Laura Howard has 1 principal and 1 assistant with 708. And Uniontown, their setup is a little different. They have Lafayette that has kindergarten through 5th grade for a principal. Also in Lafayette, they have grades 6 through 8. They have a principal for the 6th through 8th grade. And 382 kids total. Ben Franklin, which is an elementary and middle, they have 1 principal and 1 assistant. And the elementary schools, Gallatin has 5 elementaries, which has a principal each, with 1,509 students. Brownsville has 1 principal, 750 students. Connellsville, they have 4 elementaries with 1 principal in each one, for 891 kids. Fraser has 1 principal with 560. Laura Highlands has 4 elementaries with 1 principal each. And Uniontown, 2 elementaries. They have 1 principal going between 2 elementaries and another principal going between 3 elementaries. So that's the breakdown. And on the far right, you see students per principal average. Gallatin, 302. Brownsville, 538. Connellsville, 482. Fraser, 397. Lower Highlands, 316. And Uniontown, 325.
This chart gives us a total of 11 principals for our district, or principal/assistant principals. But isn't our total number, weren't we recently talking that we have 21 administrators? Like for example, we have a truancy officer that's an administration position, special education administration positions, a technology administration position, building and grounds, I understand that may change, transportation administration. And I'm not sure who else I'm missing, but do we have a breakdown in comparison of whether these other school districts have all these other administration positions?
We didn't get that question at the last meeting. It was specifically looking at principals. But yes, we do have administrators in different roles. We have special ed, we have transportation, we have a buildings and ground, attendance officer, truant officer, technology, and to my knowledge, the other districts do have similar administrators in those positions.
And the athletic director is one we have as well?
Yes.
Is the attendance and the truancy, are those 2 separate
Yes.
This is for the, it's March, it does work out. It's cool.
Oh, the big one, that's okay. And again, these were just supplied
It
to us
doesn't,
tonight.
it just doesn't like all of it.
Okay, okay.
It doesn't break it up like that.
Okay. But these weren't supplied to us, or rather than just walking in here, these were, okay, thank you.
Anything you want to add to that so far or anything? Or?
No, I think we're good on this.
Okay.
Well, Uniontown has a very interesting ratio with a similar number of students to our number of students at the elementary level. They have one principal holding down 2 elementaries and one principal holding down 3 elementaries. Now, what are they doing to make that employee effective at 3 buildings?
Well, from my understanding, the one principal that has 3 buildings, when you combine the enrollment of all 3 buildings, it's like less than 200. So they have very small numbers of the mountain schools. The principal in the mountain is AJ McMullen, Barclay, and Norton. And I believe their numbers are very small, in those schools. The schools where they have more students, like Lafayette, they have 382, and they have 2 principals there in that same building. So it's, I think it's basically their district is unique. They have the city and they have the mountain, where the schools are smaller enrollment numbers.
Okay, so 1,400 kids. I mean, it's a larger geographic area. I think we could get a similar structure to work in our district. I think we can make it work.
And you know, I mean, tough times call for tough actions, and I mean, how long ago was it that we had a principal that was doing more than one elementary school?
And we had the city right here.
6.
When we had the SIG grant and we moved administration to high school, we had elementary principals that had 2 buildings, and we also utilized head teachers at the times that the elementary principals weren't in their buildings.
I think it's something worth exploring. I think that, would it not have less of a direct impact on the quality of education if we cut in administration at that level versus 4 or 5 elementary school teachers? I mean, and I get that the job duties of principals that you are probably overwhelming, but when you're talking about the impact on the quality of the education for our elementary school teachers, to me, the more teachers we have, the lower our classroom numbers. I think that should ultimately be our goal.
I do have a presentation for executive session. At the last meeting, the board did ask that we look across the board at administration, professional, and support staff. So I do have a presentation for executive session that I don't want to do in public forum because we're talking about personnel.
My question may be, if we would eliminate principals, where would these people? They aren't.
I think it's something you should discuss in personnel because we're dealing with specific individuals.
And we did
And
have,
where things may end up depending upon.
and years ago, even before the state grant, we had 2 principals at that school. There was, I believe, Reason on Hill, together, and there was Hale, or something. I know AL was the sleeper, they were, it was a one.
I think it was fine. You mentioned years ago,
I understand it's a cut, but you do have how this affects the number of students that we have with social issues and security. I think a principal is an integral part of the security of a building.
And I do think at this time, I'm a proponent to have an elementary principal in every building. I know whenever We did have one for every 2 with the SIG grant. It was very difficult with the teacher evaluations and trying to get those and being present in the classrooms and all the dealing and handling the problems. You can't have a head teacher or someone who's not administrative handling the discipline and handling the evaluations and observations of teachers. And to say the least, that we're looking about, the school safety, the things that have happened in the last few years around the country with threats to schools, and we're trying to improve. We're talking about putting metal detectors and people in the buildings in the elementary schools to help. If we take away principal, we're taking away an integral part of school operations and school safety. And that's,
It's my feeling that every building needs.
I respect all of your opinions. I'm just giving you my opinion and what I believe as far as.
I'm in favor of 5.
Do you think maybe a lot of times don't understand what a principal does? I mean, a principal just doesn't worry about the students. Principals have so many other duties to do. I don't know if people understand what a principal really does. There are a lot of things they do that people don't recognize, and I think we need to look at that also.
I think it's how you vote should be. I'm not in favor of taking.
I am for the principal in every building, especially the way things are now with everything.
Whether it's the elementary school principals or administration somewhere else, our ratio of administrators compared to others in the IU, other districts, we're a lot higher. We're top heavy on administration. So where then from administration can we look at to make some other cuts?
I agree with this, we are top heavy in administration, but elementaries are foundations, so anything we can work on with our middle schools or high schools.
Well, I do have a presentation, like I said, with personnel that I'll discuss in executive session where it does involve, eliminating or reducing administration as well as professional staff as well as support staff.
Let's just wait and hear that.
See, I think that we can make cuts to administration that will not affect the education that goes on in the building. I think if we cut building principals, especially elementary, it will have an impact on the educational process in the building. Where there are other administrators that are, I believe, in non-educational roles that we could look at adjusting their job descriptions and it not affect the education process.
I'm for what Mr. Begg on his presentation.
Just remember, the issues that we face today is not the same issues when there are other principals were too. A lot of things have changed. What the state has done, what the federal government has done, and what the public has done that has hurt them because of safety. So there is a different issue, different brain set.
And the fact of the matter is we don't have enough money to do everything we want to do. And if we were a rich school district, this would be a non-issue, but we don't have enough money to go around. Cuts have to be made somewhere.
I agree. I do have a number of cuts. I would say it's about $1.2 million in cuts across the board. And I'll elaborate on that. But as you all were saying, just in the last year, some of the things we dealt with, it was crucial to have an administrator. We had a bus accident. I had a principal there for several hours. At the same time, there's something going on in another elementary school. And if you're splitting schools, those principals are the face of that school, and they deal directly with students and know every kid and the parents. It's vital, I think, to have the principal in every building. But I did, like I said, spend a lot of time looking across the board where we can make realistic cuts that would be the least amount of effect on instruction. And does class size go up? Yeah, it goes up. Is it doable? I met with my principals and all my administration last week, and they're all on board and feel that this is very doable. We have good administration, we have good teachers, and the class size going up some is something definitely that's not going to have a great impact on learning. I believe our teachers are quality to get the job done. And I certainly wouldn't recommend something that I wouldn't recommend with my own children. I look at this district. I have many reasons to support this district. I live in it, my kids go here, and I just think I have a lot of pride in it. So I certainly wouldn't make recommendations that is going to be something that would not be able to be accomplished in our classrooms and our schools. So I will elaborate on that in the executive session. Andy, I know there was a handout that you had given. If you want to review the handout, I know that one has some questions on it about what percent dollar amount of our budget do we have to work with, and what is the total cost of non-educational programs and staff that we could cut without impacting the educational programs, and as well as athletics and other non-educational expenditures. So, you want to elaborate on that?
Sometimes things come back in the future, but I was asked this years ago, and I was here. Percent of the budget we have to work with, I guess you can read down as easy as I can. Salaries are 38%, most of which are contractual, so let's refer to administrators, teachers, aides, secretaries, janitors, etc. Basically fixed. Benefits 28%, fixed as per contracts and state law. 300 purchases and professional tech services, 7% the vast majority of this is IMO services. And I must commend this district for trying to take over the special ed classes from the IMO. 400 purchase property services, and 1.4 majority of this is repair and maintenance, performed by outside services. Also included in this is the 400s, the garbage we were still talking about, snow removal, along with the equipment rental. Outside services is driven by needs, so how much we need is always an estimate and budgeted by prior interactions. Tuition, 500, 14%. Major components of transportation, tuition through the charter for private schools, insurance, and telephone. Travel and conferences also budgeted under this category, 50,600, less than 1%, above the 500, 1/10 of 1% of the budget. There is room to work here, but not much. 600 supplies is 3.6. General supplies comprise approximately 900,000. Tech supplies 350,000. Textbooks is 12,000. So probably be one area of the budget we can work with. Students get books, supplies, both tech and other essentials, and parent supply and more food districts. I believe we have less discretionary spending here than other food districts. Property is less than 1.5%. Regional equipment is approximately 66,000 remaining budget display replacements. Maintaining your status quo, 800 other objects, 1.7. Basically interest on your construction loans, 30% of 4,000 fees. The 900s other use of fund, bond issue payments, and cafeteria fund, transfer, 5% of bond issue payment. Based on the involvement about further contractual concessions, we have about 1 million who work with less than 2%. Our students need these supplies more than most of them because that importance. Education is the only way out for these kids. I would estimate that over 98% of this budget will be without salary reductions. So number 2, the cost of non-educational programs would be support functions in 2000. Honestly, this almost refer to the educators of the services. It's really out of my realm of public education. Principals, guidance, attendance, psychological, social work, cultural services, curriculum, medical, nursing, business, office, maintenance, operation, building, security, bus markers, along with transportation supervisors, all factored into this category. Total cost for the 2000 supported 17.7 million, 32% of the budget. So again, we did down where principals, administrators, or students, buildings, size of the districts, etc. It's not an easy decision, but definitely needs to be addressed. I actually thought we'd all give a return call about presentations that was new when I first started here, but they no longer do that, and we suggested the handout like the one in GCAB might be some. The cost of the third question is the cost of non-educational programs and staff and the cover on the education buses. Now we go to the 3,000 functions. School sponsored activity, and course, choir, speech, debate, all etc. athletics designed to provide opportunities for students to pursue various aspects of physical education, such as which was just a comment that I had. Commenting on school-sponsored activities and also important citizen justice practice. Our students can use cultural experiences in order to students in our school districts. And these are quite staff. I hope this helps in a great appreciation for the confidence that is not a whole lot.
And I do believe that our students deserve the opportunity to participate in the extracurriculars, the musicals, the drama, whatever we can offer with the clubs at the high school, the athletics. If we start eliminating these things and it's not an option, I think we're going to see a further decline of our enrollment. People are going to move to districts in which their kids can't participate. We might see a spike in cyber school over that. So I do think that we have a decent offering for our students, and I really think that if we take that away, that it's something that would be drastic. So I would not like to see us I'd hate to see us take away things of that nature where these kids can get the experiences and get out of Fayette County and go to other places, get the experience they have with the arts. So I think that's vital, for our students.
Question for you. Our debt compared to other school districts is minimal, isn't it? I think we don't have a lot of debt service. Yeah, one issue is probably, unfortunately, we make it one. Yeah, so it's already been wrapped around us to try to reach a refinance. That's the one. But like I said last week, it's time to do one. That's why they gave the 20-year. Used to be the 20-year timeline. So
Maybe we can make this another way that we can get back to one in school.
Did you have any suggestions in the suggestion box? I just thought of that. Mrs. Kruger asked for that. And Mr. Bruce is suggesting the suggestion box. Do you have any suggestions from him?
I didn't receive any emails. I know that Amanda Riley is not available right now. So I haven't talked to her this week. But I did not give any suggestions. But like I said, I did meet with my entire administrative staff, central office, and all the other principals last week. And
That's a good one. I was just curious because that was
anything else?
I think your presentation covered it.
Okay. I do have a lengthy presentation, so we'll have a lot of questions and discussion in that. And like I said, that would be an executive session, which would be for personnel. I have the PowerPoint set up in the first group on the right. Okay, thank you. We will now, after a 5-minute break, enter into executive session. We'll use the word on the right. I don't believe it. Andy, leave it. After executive session, we're not coming back out to public forum, are we? There's no need to come back out. It's not a voting meeting or anything. Board, I do have a copy of graduation for all of you. I'm going to take one and pass it down.